guys. Okay, sorry. Trying to get you all propped up here. I don't know how well this is gonna turn out, but we're gonna find out. There, I got it. I had to push in my top socket thing. Sorry. All right. Let me turn on this light too. Whoo! And God said, "Let there be light." I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. Okay. Hi. Is this too much? I think this is too much. I curled my hair. Can you tell? I like it. I might do this more often. I think I'm a little addicted. This is like the third time I've curled my hair this week. You know what? I kind of like this because it kind of hides the messiness of my room. Okay, let's be real here. Okay, hold on. Let's figure this out together. Even though I'm completely alone in this live stream right now. Yeah, that is not gonna work. Story of my life. Actually, hey, you know what? That works. Let's just stick to this. Terrible lighting. Great production value I got going on here. So we're going to wait a minute just for others to hopefully get their notifications so that way they can join this live stream because people have not been getting their notifications lately from my understanding. I'm going to take this jacket off though because it's a bit noisy. This jacket likes to squeak and make all kinds of fun noises when I move. So let's just do that. Get that out of the way now. I have a thing about rolling up my sleeves. I don't know. Even though it's cold. Well, it's cold in the shade. It's hot in the sun. It's Vegas for you. Looks like we have one person joining us today. I should put on a necklace. My neck looks bare. Hey, James. Oh, thank you. You noticed right away. Yeah, I was saying earlier that oh, thank you guys. Oh, yeah. This is like the third time this week I've curled my hair and I'm loving it. I think I'm addicted, so don't be surprised if you guys see me with curly hair from now on. But by the way, James, before I forget, we've all been missing you in the Discord chat and we're just like making sure and worried that, are you okay? Are you good? What's going on with you? Like we're a little concerned, but we just want to make sure that you know that we care and we worry about you and we want to make sure that you're doing good. That's all. That's all. As long as you're good. You've just been quiet, that's all. But yeah, as you guys saw the title, I'm sure we're gonna do some story time. I have a very hot cup of coffee that just burned my hand. That was great. So I have my photos over here. I'm alive, still here. Work and stress. I hate this month is all, plus work. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm here and alive. That's good. That's good. I'm sorry that, this year's already gotten a rough start. It's been a rough start for me as well. So, and a lot of people that I know, it's been a rough start to 2019, but I look at it as like starts off rough, that's just going to make the rest of the year go by easy. Maybe, maybe. Yeah, same with Couch. He's had a rough start to his year too. So I have my disposable camera photos here from when I was in Goldfield. Now, a little bit of a backstory. Hey, Mirad! I'm talking about the time when we all went to Goldfield. I don't know if you were in the group at the time that we went when I took all these photos. I don't think you were, actually, if I remember right. I think it was like, I know it was around then that you joined, but I think you joined after we went. But yeah, I remember we all got invited to go out there because they were having Goldfield Day. which was celebrating the boom and everything of Goldfield, Nevada. Yeah, it was right after. Yeah. See, my memory's not as bad as I thought it was. um, but yeah, I remember we got asked to go out there by Virginia, who was the key holder to the Goldfield Hotel at the time. She's not anymore. But yeah, interesting lady. Oh God, I can't wait for this weekend either. Um, but yeah, I was so excited to go to Goldfield and to investigate the Goldfield Hotel. But when we got there, Virginia, I think it was the weekend before we got there, there was a bunch of vandals that broke in and vandalized the inside of the Goldfield Hotel. And because of that, she was really apprehensive on letting us investigate in there, which I didn't quite understand, and I still to this day don't, because we were a legitimate group. We were affiliated with TAPS at the time and everything. Um, so for her to kind of like change her mind and be like, no, I don't want you guys going in there. Like, no, it's not happening. And I'm just like, we came all this way. Like, really? We got all the way here just for you to change your mind and just be like, nah, it's not happening. So, needless to say, I'm quite happy that she's not the key holder anymore. Um, but yeah, as far as my understanding, Red, the owner, the current owner of Goldfield Hotel, I believe he is back to holding the keys to that place now, or a family member of his. Yeah. Right. Oh, seriously, James, I was like this close to hopping the gate and just going in, because I was livid that we got all the way there just for her to change her mind. I was like, I don't care about respecting elders at this point. I'm going in there. You do not set me up for this and then change your mind. That is just not okay. Um, Red gave me a tour last month of the hotel. Well, there you go. See? Yeah, Murad was saying that he went to Goldfield and got a tour there by Red himself. So, yeah, so I'm sure he's the one that's back to holding the keys and taking care of the place. I do know that they've been trying to renovate it and fix it up for decades now. Um, so I don't know if they have any public. Murad, do you know if they have any like public like GoFundMe or anything to help raise money to help revitalize the Goldfield Hotel? Because back when we went, there was no go. Let's hope that that doesn't happen again. No, but they are doing. What they're doing is there you can investigate now for $500. Okay, so yeah, so they do have a fee then for investigating there, $500, which actually, in all honesty, that's actually a really good price for considering that it's such a well-known place. Is it true that basically the whole entire Bonnie Springs town is sold? Yeah, okay, a little off subject here, but yeah, Bonnie Springs got sold to a developer who wants to tear down Bonnie Springs and turn it into they want to put up hotels, they want to put up homes and everything up there, and it's just like, first off, why? There's nothing out there. And second of all, that's a historical land. It's a historical, second of all, that's a historical land. It's a historical area. And Bonnie Springs, it's made itself historical throughout the years. And they just want to totally demolish everything and just corporate everything. Put this building here, that building there, put these neighborhoods around here. Can't stand that. That's Vegas for you, though. Nothing's sacred here. Nothing is sacred and nothing's respected. Yeah, they did Halloween specials at Bonnie Springs. I used to do haunted tours at Bonnie Springs. Yeah, Murad, I remember we were asked one year by Bonnie Springs to do the haunting tours there, the haunted tours, where you can have a, ghost hunting device and act like a paranormal investigator for an evening of nice and spooky fun. Bonnie Springs is actually a whole nother ghost story that I'll have to share with you guys because I went there for an investigation once. Um, I wasn't able to be there. Yeah, Bonnie Screams. Yeah. Oh, I loved it when they did that, and they're not gonna do it anymore. Oh God, it's terrible. But anyway, yeah, God, it was great. It was a lot of fun, and the investigation there was awesome. But um, I was actually supposed to be a part of it when Ghost Adventures was investigating out there, and they wanted some of us from LVPI to be a part of their episode. And but I couldn't find a babysitter that night, and I just had my oldest at the time, and so I had to bail. I couldn't be a part of it, but Christy got to be a part of it. She was on that episode. She got scratched on her back, which I still find it absolutely cool to this day. Um, well, when I was with EVPS, we did the tours. Oh, I see. See, I thought you were with our group when you did that, but I think, yeah, I think that was all after all that and everything. But yeah, so to get into the whole Goldfield thing, when we were denied access to the Goldfield Hotel, oh, LVPA. Yeah. That's another story time for another day that I may or may not share. Murad knows about all the drama and everything that happened. Um, but and it's a reason why I started my group. We've been inactive for several months now, but a lot of that was just because nobody was giving me their schedules, so I couldn't work around everybody's schedules to set up meetings or anything. And so I'm gonna try again this year. Here's hoping. But in Goldfield, mind you, this was years ago, so I might miss out on some details. Yeah. I might miss out on some details and everything because this was so long ago. I don't really remember everything, but what I do, of course, remember is like a bunch of the like important stuff. So, as I showed you guys this picture on the last live stream, this is the Goldfield school that burned a long time ago. I can't remember exactly when this uh, partially burned down. They've been trying to revitalize and rebuild this as well because I think their current schools are all in portables, which sucks. But we had the opportunity to take a tour there because with it being Goldfield Day, they were offering tours of all the different places and historical sites there. And they even did some auctions while we were there. Here, I have a picture of that. This is behind the courthouse. You can see a bunch of people there. They were doing auctions there at the time as kind of like, it was a legit auction, but they were mainly doing it as kind of like a like a what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like just a little nod to the history of Goldfield when they would do land auctions like that. That's actually how Vegas started as well, was through land auctions. The more you know. Anyway, don't worry, I'm gonna start a whole Vegas history series on here. I just got to figure out the logistics of it all. But this place was really freaking cool. We started off on the lower levels, and our tour began talking about how there was this girl. Mind you, I had my audio recorder with me, so of course I hit record as soon as that tour started. I was just like, we're doing this. I just had it running throughout the entire tour because you never know. It's a haunted place. There were supposedly no casualties, supposedly, but there were some areas that were so heavily burned that even if there was a casualty, they may not have been able to know. Um, so, and back in those days, they didn't really report everything. So, you know. Anyway, um, there was a story about a girl that was heavily bullied while she was at this school, especially by this one boy in particular. And of course, typical things back in the day of the whole boys will be boys. It was that, the boy actually liked her, but he teased and picked on her relentlessly and quite brutally. And to where she would hide in the bathrooms on a regular basis just to kind of get away from him. And it was the one place he couldn't get her. And he would yell and taunt her through the doors at times. And nobody really did anything back then. And So supposedly, there is a belief that she was quite possibly locked in the bathrooms during the fire, and wasn't able to escape and possibly died there. Again, these are all allegations. There's no confirmed deaths during this fire, but then again, back in those days, especially in a small town like it was, because even though it was booming back in the day, it was still very much a small town. And yeah, it's like there's a lot of corruption and everything that goes when it comes to stuff like that. Unless people really start talking, there's really no need for the authorities to report stuff and whatnot. And like the less paperwork, the better. And back then, they did not really report found bodies or body parts, or if they found bones or something. A lot of the times, they just marked it off as whatever because they didn't have the technology that we have today. They didn't have the resources that they have today as well. And people kind of would go missing on a regular basis just because of either like gang involvements or whatnot. Back in the day, gangs were just very mean cowboys. Very mean cowboys. And so yeah, people would go missing and people would run away and all kinds of things would happen back in the day that just was never really reported. And so I do thoroughly believe that there could have been quite a few people that died in there, but because there was no body to really salvage, they just kind of marked it off as maybe, eh. And while we were getting told about this story about the girl that possibly died in the bathroom, um, nobody knows for sure if she did or not. I did actually get an EVP in that room, and I really wish I could show you guys, but I lost all the files on that audio recorder because I couldn't get them to be converted into an MP3, and oh, it was beautiful though. It was very creepy, kind of sad, but it was amazing. It's me. Um, but yeah, the files ended up being corrupted because I couldn't get them converted within the time frame that my computer allowed. So I lost all the files that were on my audio recorder, which there were a lot, and there was a lot that I had amazing like class A EVPs on there that are just completely gone now that I'll never get back, and I hate it so much. But anyway, um, this was about I'd say a class B EVP that I got when I was in there, and it's just in the background, and it doesn't fit any of our voices. We knew all the women that were there, and it was a female voice, and nobody's voice quite matched it. And plus, I even very distinctly remember that nobody was saying anything like that while we were there because it was kind of cold. I remember it was the sun was hot, but the air was cold. It's just how the desert is. Like today, the sun is hot, but the air is cold, and if you're in the shade, it's cold. So, and that's how it was when we were out there. I remember. So when we were in the building, it was quite cool, but the EVP was, it's so hot, just like that, just very much in the background of the audio recording. You can hear a bunch of people talking and everything. There was a slight echo because of the stone walls. Um, and you can hear a young female voice saying, "It's so hot," and I just hit my brushes. Sorry. um, and it was just very clear, just very eloquent, just there, just kind of like somebody just speaking up almost through the conversations of the tour that was happening. And there was a couple of others that happened like following that. I couldn't distinct what they were saying or anything, but it was definitely in that same young female tone, just like saying random things that, again, I couldn't figure out what she was saying. But the initial one was, "It's so hot." And I remember when I heard that, I showed it to Christy and possibly even Diane and a couple other ladies that ended up leaving the group not too long after that because they moved away. But yeah, it was quite fascinating that I caught that. I didn't get anything else throughout the entire tour, but it was quite fascinating to just walk around in there, and they were letting us, go up on the higher levels as high as we could go. I think we only got to the second story. I don't think we went up to the third story. I don't think anybody was allowed up there because that was just too, it was too unsafe, decrepit, and all that stuff. But I do believe we were on the second floor, and there was one room in particular that it's a good thing they had like the caution tape and everything, because it's like right on the other side of the threshold of the doorway. It's just a hole, like no flooring whatsoever. But it was fascinating because there was a chalkboard that was still there that still had drawings and writings on it from that day. And it's just amazing that it's still there and just pristine and just like completely just untouched. And it was just so cool, that you could see the little chalk drawings on it, and that wasn't anybody else's doing, because there's seriously just no floor in this entire room. Because like I was thinking, I was like, could somebody possibly like just like rig themselves or whatever to get over there? And it's like without an actual like professional rigging system, like there would be no way for anybody to even touch that chalkboard, or blackboard, and do any doodlings of any sort. Um, so it was so cool to actually know that it was from that day, of all the writings and drawings that were on that blackboard. And it's really cool. And there's actually a couple of rooms that are like that, where the blackboards just left there pristine. Some of them didn't really have anything written on them. And of course, there were some classrooms too where the blackboard itself was fallen apart. So not like you could see anything anyway, because holes in the ceiling, and when it rains, of course, it just destroys everything. Um, but I do remember there was another classroom that had a pristine blackboard. It did have some writing on it, but all it had was the date, and it was the date of the fire. So that was really cool. And God, it was just so beautiful in there too. I really wish they didn't allow us to really take pictures inside. But hey, Manny. Um, but yeah, they let us, definitely look around and everything, because I really wanted to take pictures, but all I had was a disposable camera, and it kind of sucked because I couldn't get away with taking a picture without a flash because of it being a disposable camera. And oh, thank you, Manny. You're so sweet. I was telling everybody that this is like my third time curling my hair this week, and I think I'm addicted. I really like curling my hair now. Oh, thank you. I like going for fancy all the time. um, so from there, of course, we did get to investigate the courthouse. So I'm gonna show you guys here. Let me see where I can find those pictures of inside the courthouse. There's that upstairs of the courthouse. There's Rhyolite. I need to really organize these photos. So as I showed you guys in the live stream the other day, these are the pictures of the courthouse, or the courtroom itself. And sorry about that. So you can see how it's like there's nice lacquered wood in there and everything. It's all very old-fashioned, very beautiful in there. The lamps, I loved those lamps in there. They were so cool. I don't know what it is with me and like old stuff, but I would love to have those lamps. Hey, Marson Cat, how you doing? But yeah, so I know a lot of people might even mention about this orb up here, but I've determined that that's just debunked because of the window right here. I hate it when people are like, oh, orbs, that means spirits. It's like, no, 9 times out of 10, more like 9.5 times out of 10, it's dust. So, anyway, we did investigate this room. We did a whole EVP session there and everything. Hold on real quick. I gotta grab my battery charger, because my cell phone's gonna die. because I'm an idiot that is completely unprepared all the time. Because I'm a genius. Any hoodles. So we investigated in there. We did a whole EVP session with an obelisk. Now, for you guys, sorry. Okay. Okay. Oh, thank God. I thought I was gonna lose connection again. It takes like the energies and the radio waves and everything in the air, which are believed to be emitted through spirits and everything, for them to communicate with us. And there's like a whole oh, thank you. There's a whole dictionary in this obelisk that's all computerized and everything. So it's like a computer generated voice that comes through. So there's a dictionary in there already set in. So it's like if there are sometimes words come up that are not in its own vocabulary that it'll spit out, and that to me just kind of solidifies an actual response when it does that. Now, this time we didn't have anything like that happen, but as I mentioned in the last live stream, anytime a woman sat in the judge's chair, it responded. Anytime anything else, like a guy, or if the chair was empty, there was nothing. Like there was no responses or anything. So I went up there because I was getting really into it, and I was like, let's get some responses. I was like, I'm gonna make fun of this guy. So I went up there, and is that plugged in all the way? Should be plugged in all the way. Yeah, it is. Okay. So yeah, I went up there, I got sassy. I get real sassy. Like after I've been in an investigation for a while and I don't have responses, or if I do have responses, regardless, I get sassy after a certain point, and I'm like, I'm gonna get you to respond. I'll get really mean where I'll start cussing the damn thing out. So I feel like there's been a glitch. Oh, okay. All right. I feel like there was a glitch because like nobody was responding, and I saw that like my reconnection thing might have like ruined the live stream. Oh, I'm just having some coffee. Just some good old coffee. But yeah, so I was leaning over on the judge's desk and everything. I was just like, we don't got all day, old man. You can respond. I heard it. You can do it again. Oh, I did. I told them they had small wieners for sure. Cause yeah, that's kind of one of my go-tos, especially when I'm told that that it's a male entity at any investigation. I'm just like, well, you got a small ass dick if you're not gonna come up here and tell me that you're here and responding to my questions. Like I said, I get mean. I get mean when I have to, basically. If something's really responding to me without me being mean, then I don't usually get that bad, but yeah, I get bad sometimes. But yeah, so I was mocking it and everything. I was mocking the guy. I was mocking the fact that he was a judge for so many years, and that he probably made some corrupt decisions on jurisdictions and everything. Okay. I provoke like Zach after it's been some time. I don't just go into an investigation and just full on provoking like he does. I give it a little bit first. I give them a chance to kindly respond. And if they don't, then I get mean. So yeah, and we had been there for a while, and there was another group that was kind of waiting on us to be done in there. So, excuse me. I'm burpy. I was teasing and making fun of it and everything, and it responded with 2 words, which was stand straight. And I was like, all right, I get you. Okay. So, I feel I might get scratched. Oh, No, see, I don't care if I get scratched. I kind of look forward to that day because to this day, out of all my investigations, I have never been scratched, and I've invited it. While working at the museum, I said all the time, I was like, scratch me, pull my hair, pull my clothes. I don't care. Just let me know you're there. Not once, not once. I've not been scratched. Um, but yeah, so uh I was leaning on the desk, like I was kind of like this and like fold my arms on the desk and everything. So when it said stand straight, I was just like, y'all heard that too, right? And they were just like, yeah, that was pretty much directed right at you, Sarah. And I was like, cool, let's keep this going. Yeah, it was calling me out. And it said other things, if I remember right. A lot of it was like don't, like when we would like try to touch something or move something, it was like don't. And there was other words that would just randomly come out. So we had some fun in there, and it was really interesting. I want to go back again and reinvestigate the courthouse, reinvestigate the school, and get another freaking chance at investigating the Goldfield Hotel. That is a bucket list goal for me. Goldfield Hotel and Jerome, Arizona. Absolutely. I mean, of course, as well as like many other locations that I'm not gonna bore you guys with. Look at this. I took a picture inside the freaking bathroom just because there's like wood paneling. I'm an idiot, I swear. Anyway, where are these other pictures? Yes, this one. Okay, so I really wanted to tell you guys this one. After all this, we went over to the cemetery, and that is a beautiful cemetery. They have a prison or unknown section, and then they have like all the families and relatives and non-convicts section of the graveyard. And what locations? You want to bore me? Oh, you're so sweet, Manny. I'll tell you guys all the locations that I want to go to one day, but because it's a list. um, this picture is a very fascinating picture. I'm sure you guys can see that there's a bit of a glare on that. Now, we hung out in this cemetery for quite some time, and I fell in love with it. I still think it is the cutest, greatest little cemetery on the face of this earth. I love this cemetery so much. And there's so much stories and history there that you can just tell just by reading the tombstones and everything. Is just fascinating and amazing. There's a guy that died by eating like what was it like what was that, library glue or something? It was like glue for the books. Guy died from eating that. Like, and it's on his cross. It was the craziest thing. There's so many tombstones like that out there too. It's so funny. But I shouldn't laugh, but I did. I laughed so hard. This one was when we were packing up to go. We were getting ready to go back to Vegas, and I looked at the founder of the group at the time. I looked at him and I was like, "Do you mind if I just try to see what I can do to get one last like possible picture?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." So I opened up the car door and I just was all like, "Okay, we're leaving. So this is the last photo. Everybody in." And I just snapped the picture. And this is what happened. Now, what you guys may or may not know about disposable cameras is that they have a special film within the lens that prevents glaring from happening. So this should not have happened. And if there was any, if it somehow missed the film in production or anything, then all these other photos that I took, especially while outside, they should have had that glare as well. And none of them do. So, how this one photo, the last photo, had this glare, and it was in the Goldfield Cemetery. I can't explain this one. And this is one of my coolest, most favorite pictures that I have, because it is quite unexplainable. There's nothing I can do to explain this. So, did anyone use a spirit box there at the courthouse? No, we didn't have a spirit box at that time. Spirit boxes were still very new when we went, because, like I said, this was about almost 10 years ago. So, spirit boxes were still quite new and they were still quite not really mass produced. Um, so, or especially in the way that Zach uses them now, and how small and petite the devices are, it's definitely back then. It was definitely a lot more like jerry rigged, at home MacGyver kind of a thing. Hey, Kirby, haven't seen you. This is the last photo. So this is in Goldfield, Nevada. It's a ghost town. I highly recommend you guys look up the history on it. This was the last place that we went to before we left. It was my last photo in the disposable camera, and I told everybody to get in that it's the last photo. If they want a picture, they better get one now. I'd snap the picture, and I had this amazing glare on it. And disposable cameras are made to not have glares. And I was explaining that if mine somehow missed the film to prevent the glaring in production, then all these other photos that I also took outside would have had a glare, and they don't. So it is one of my favorite pieces of evidence that I own, that I specifically took, that I really enjoy, and I love sharing that story because I love Goldfield. God, I've been there twice, and I want to go again. God, I want to go again. I miss it up there. um, but yeah. So, by the way, you guys, just to let you know, yes, Bonnie Springs, as I mentioned earlier, Bonnie Springs had been bought. There is a petition to save Bonnie Springs from being torn down and turned into a whole neighborhood area thing. There is a petition for that to sign. However, it's already bought, so I don't know how well signing a petition will work. I still signed it just because I love Bonnie Springs. I love what they have there and everything. I was actually hoping that one of my first live stream investigations was going to be at Bonnie Springs. So I want to go stay the night where the Zodiac murders took place. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be fun. Um, but yeah, yeah, I highly recommend you guys see what you can do to look up Bonnie Springs. I did have a link that I found to go to sign the petition. But again, like I said, I don't know how much that would work as far as saving Bonnie Springs. Yeah, I don't really know the fate of that right now, and I wish I knew. And when, if or when I find out more about Bonnie Springs and what's going to happen to it, I'll definitely keep you guys updated because, like I said, I've always been wanting to do a Vegas history series on here anyway. So I might end up having to start that with the history of Bonnie Springs. Because that whole property is actually on a Paiute trail, which is really cool. So just a lot of history in that area. Yeah, just go up to all the buyers, be like, could you just not? Could you like there's a door. Let it hit you on the way out, please. Just fucking go. They've been trying to do this to Red Rock as well. They've been trying to turn Red Rock into a residential area with hotels and everything as well. So I don't understand. I don't understand why anybody would sit there and be like, oh yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Yeah, let's do that. It's like, fuck you. Like, no. Like, nothing is respected or sacred here in Vegas, and it's showing. It's showing. Yeah. Are you a traffic sign? Because stop. Seriously, dude. Tell them it's haunted and then terrorize the construction workers with a projector and a mask, a la Scooby-Doo. Or even the episode of Magic School Bus when they learned about projecting what is that, holograms and everything with mirrors, which I still don't understand how that works, but I don't know. Maybe one of these days we'll figure that out. Yeah, I just don't like Vegas. I don't like how there's no respect here for anything that's, you know, any historical holdings. Tell Zach to buy it. I wish he could, but I think that was actually one of the few things that was out of his price range. Uh, I do know that he did buy a second property. I know the second property that he bought. He actually even asked my opinion for it before he bought it when I was still working there. Sorry about that. Yeah, Vegas respects the dollar, exactly. Nothing else. Nothing else is respected here except money. But yeah, Zach actually asked my opinion on this second. I can't say the actual location what he bought. I will say that it is in proximity to the haunted museum. Manny. I could actually show you when you come out here this summer. Um, but yeah, he as far as what I understand, he may not even keep it. So um because it's just a bad spot. And I even told him, I was like, sorry, my boyfriend just messaged me. I'm not allowed to die, right? I'm like, boy, I will kill you myself. Anyway, because, you know, that's love. I need to move back. It's too cold here. It's actually been really cold here. It's just warm today in the sun. But I'm sure you would love that more than what you're going through right now, Couch, and I'm sorry. um, but yeah, I even told Zach, I was like, that property, yeah, it might be haunted, but it's probably haunted by a bunch of drug users that OD'd. So, and he was just like, oh, really? Okay, well, that sucks. And I was just like, well, it's your money, dude. Do what you want. And he did buy it. He did what he wanted. He wanted it and he got it. And now he's not quite sure if he wants it. Because yeah, I ran into them while they were over there. It was Zach and his assistant Bacon and their driver James. And I know all. I know all three of them. And I got chatting with them about it. And I was just like, this property sucks. I don't know why. Why? Just why? Like it's a bad property. But yeah, so he's dealing with that mess right now. So I'm sure he probably didn't even know about Bonnie Springs because Bonnie Springs is actually quite haunted. And like I said, he did an episode out there. My friend Christy was on that episode. She was the one that got scratched, and it was really it's really just a cool location and it's really awesome. And I really hate to see it go just because of developers. I hate this town. So, but I do got to let you guys go. So I just wanted to come on here real quick and do that story time. Well, I'll share my story time of Bonnie Springs, my investigation out there. I'll share that on the next live stream. If I don't get the chance to live stream this Saturday, Murad invited me to go out with him to David Omen's house. For anybody who doesn't know, David Omen is the guy who owns the house that is on the property that Sharon Tate's house used to be, where she was murdered. And it is a very haunted spot. It's famously haunted. David Omen is an amazing guy. So, yeah, Ghost Adventures. Did I say something else? I sometimes I'll fuck the name titles. But yeah, so hopefully it's unsure right now. But David did say that he might let people live stream while over there this weekend. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that he does let us, because I will totally live stream and show you guys, and we'll have some fun. And I would hope to be able to get David to sit down with me and even interview him for just a moment, even if that, for a live stream. Quick little interview. That'd be really cool. That'd be really fun. So anyway, I do gotta let you guys go. I gotta go get my kids from school. So I love you guys so much. Thank you for hanging out with me, you guys. I seriously appreciate every single one of you. As you guys know this already, I say it so many times, but I'm gonna say it that many more times. Yes, definitely. I love you guys so much. thank you again. And I'm glad I found these pictures to be able to show you guys my adventures in Goldfield. I will definitely say hi to Noodle Girl for you, Couch. Totally. Ironically, I found these photos in my parents' bedroom. I have no idea how they ended up with my photos from Goldfield, but they did. So, anyway, again, I love you guys. Thank you so much. Yin Yang is a balance, and the balance lies within yourself. I'll see you guys on the next one, hopefully this Saturday. So